welcome to this new episode of Just as Planned Weddings. I'm excited to have the incredible Alex joining us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm actually really excited because I'm a big fan of yours. I love everything that you do. I can get a little bit carried away, so I'm just going to hand it over to you quickly to introduce yourself, and then let's have a chat of everything about weddings.
Sure, sure. Yeah, my name is Alex. I am the proprietor of Unity Entertainment. I am a one-man show, so I am a wedding DJ and MC. I'm not an agency. I'm the one that's going to be working with the couple in the weeks and months leading up to the wedding, and then I'm the one that's there on the day as well. So I'm very hands-on. I love to work with couples who get excited about their wedding, excited about their music, excited about looking after their guests. That's why it's Unity Entertainment. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to give everyone a good time.
Yeah, amazing. All right, there's so much that I want to ask you actually, because so first of all, let's just talk about obviously, there is a lot of agencies out there, and this is the key thing that I think a lot of couples need to know is that with agencies, you actually don't know who you're going to get on the night potentially. So when they come work with you, they know it's you, they know you. Do you know what I mean? Like they get the more personalized service as well. Is that something that couples sometimes don't understand between agencies and obviously working with, somebody like yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's different tiers of agencies. There's some that, have a stable of DJs that they rely on or artists or photographers or whatever that they work with regularly and they're going to be upfront about it and tell you who's going to be there on the day.
Mm.
They're the good kind. I think the other kind of agencies are ones who just always hiring out random subcontractors and they're bit cagey on who they're hiring and who they're giving to you. You don't know who you're getting on the day. That's where you have to be sort of doing extra caution, extra due diligence because those side of agencies, they're very good on the business side of things. They're very good at sales, very good at marketing. So they're very good at getting their ads in front of you and convincing you that they're good. But then yeah, they're usually more the business side of things. They're less passionate, they're less, they're less invested in you. And I sometimes to my detriment, I think I get a bit too invested in my couples. I love to meet and chat with them before we discuss any payments or anything, any dollars and cents and all of that. I want to make sure that I'm the right fit for you and your wedding is something I feel I can help with before we get into the details. And that's when I'll get more info after that if we're aligned. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. Amazing. Like obviously weddings are not an easy feat basically. This is why I love what I do is because wedding vendors, hats off to you because it is the most special day and everyone wants everything to be perfect. Why do you still stay in the industry?
Honestly, I love it. Like the message the next morning of couples saying, oh, thank you so much. That made my day. That's kind of why I keep doing it. Yeah, I think I feel like I've got, I guess, hospitality gene, if you will. I just kind of love to serve people. So yeah, I really love just making people,
Yeah.
giving them the night of their life and playing a small part in that is very special to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Why have the like obviously being DJ and then obviously MC? I actually think it's great to have them as the one person with it. Why do you see that is a benefit for couples?
Yeah, I think it's important to have someone familiar there doubling up on a role. Like if you either have your celebrant follow on as your MC, it's that's someone they've already met through the ceremony, or your DJ MC. It's just less that can get lost in translation. Especially if if there's different moving parts on what song to play when, I can announce everything and play it, etc. Kind of the conductor of the orchestra, if you will. I'm keeping all things running to time and yeah, not just making the announcements and telling people where the bathrooms are.
Yeah, exactly. And like honestly, like I love the ability of what music does, for a wedding because a lot of people go, oh, I'm just going to have like a playlist. But, when you start to get to know the couples, is it them telling you the types of songs or is it you then sort of going away and putting like a curated sort of, event for them as well?
Yeah, it's a mix of both, and I'm always upfront with couples. I say I take your music as a bit of inspiration, as a guide. I'll ask what artists, what genres you like, but I'll always use that as a guide as well as reading the crowd and go with what's working on the night. That always gets the best result.
Yeah, yeah. What has been your like introduction? Like obviously if you could look back from when you first started in weddings, like what are some of the things that you have seen that has stuck, and continued as I don't want to say a theme, but more, around like the basis of weddings? Or are there like new trends and all that sort of stuff starting to come into weddings?
Yeah, I think the new trend that I'm seeing a lot of is people just kind of throwing out the rule book and kind of second guessing every tradition and kind of relooking at everything. Do we need a cake cutting? Do we necessarily need a first dance? Do we need to have all these speeches, etc.? People just really kind of personalizing it to their own taste so that it's still uniquely them. I had one that I never forget. Actually, it was in October last year. The bride said, "I don't want to walk down the aisle. It's not my vibe." So her and the groom were both just kind of standing up there and greeting guests as they arrived. It was a very intimate wedding, about 30 guests, and it just felt like it just fit really well with their vibe and what they were going for. So it was kind of just throwing out all the pomp and circumstance, all the traditions. They just wanted to be very casual, gathering with all their guests as like a participant and not a spectator.
Yeah, I love that so much. I love it when people really bring in their personalities, and their love story to the day and make it about, like, obviously them, but like you're saying, throw out traditions. What is it like, obviously being in the industry? Because one of the things that I hear a lot about with other wedding vendors is, you know, it's a big collaboration, like with all the other vendors that come into it as well. How important is it for other wedding vendors to sort of know who's going to be there on the day as well?
Yeah, it's a big important factor. There's a lot of moving parts to a wedding. For me, particularly, I need to know if they've got a videographer. Does he need a line out for audio? How many's on the photography, videography team? Is there going to be some downtime in between the cake cutting and the first dance? They need to reset some lighting and stuff. I don't want to have to say, okay, it's time for the first dance, and then there's this awkward pause where the video team are shuffling around like mad, running, adjusting lighting, and the couple are just standing on the dance floor looking at me, saying, "Why isn't the music starting?" And everyone else looking around, what's going on? So that's where we need to kind of chat with each other beforehand and work something out so that it's still a nice progression, smooth flowing without any awkward gaps or too long pauses.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite thing that you love the most, like either DJ or MC?
Do I? Ooh. I think I really love emceeing actually because I love to be kind of if I'm emceeing, then I know I'm in control and it's sort of I can control the pace of things. If it's another pro MC on the night, that's good as well. But when I really have to be on my toes is if there's a guest emceeing. I feel like it's almost twice as much work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. What has been, if we I want to talk a little bit about like the business sort of journey as well, because I think a lot of people, they just sort of think that, wedding vendors, this is like a side hustle, but this is like real business for it. What has been your business journey though, focusing on weddings?
Yeah, for me, I was lucky enough that I could do it as a side hustle for a while. Obviously, usually it's a Friday or Saturday night, so I can still have the office job 9 to 5 and then do some wedding work on the weekends. But yeah, eventually it's sort of the wedding work kind of outweighed the office job work for me. So yeah, I was lucky enough to be able to step away from the 9 to 5, and now this is all I do. So that was my personal journey. I think yeah, that would be a good place to start for anyone getting started. You could sort of start out as a side hustle, see if you like it. But obviously, there's still a bit of a big investment in time and money outlaying even to, so you kind of have to jump in head first.
Yeah, absolutely. When couples are working with you, is there sort of like questions that, it would be great for them to ask? Like, because I think finding the right vendor is super important as well. Like you want to make sure they fit the vibe, also their style. Plus also how you communicate with each other too, I think is really super important. Is there a particular question that either you ask or potential couples should be asking, if they're looking for a DJ and MC?
Yes, I always just my advice to couples in general when you're booking vendors is just make time for people who are willing to make time for you. So I think a lot of couples they get this kind of analytical thing and we say, oh, we're going to make a big spreadsheet and I'm going to do everything by email and send out 50 emails and get back 50 quotes. It ends up probably being more work than if you just picked up the phone or you answered the phone when someone calls you. You know, a 5 minute phone call, you can get so much more info rather than having a spreadsheet and 50 email back and forth grabbing details, and even then you might get 50 emails back and forth, get all the info you need, and then you might realize this person just personality wise we don't click, or they don't fully understand our vision even though you've got all the logistic practical side of things
Yeah.
out, the start and finish time, pricing, etc. So yeah, you're kind of making extra work for yourself. But questions to ask, I would say, yeah, touching on the agency thing again, if it is an agency, ask who's going to be there. Do you have our DJ? Do you have our photographer ready? If they're being cagey, that if they won't introduce you to their photographer, there could be something behind that. They're just sort of, charging money to clip the ticket, and yeah.
Yeah, finding the right person for it. For you, do you have a favorite type of wedding that you love to do?
Favorite type of wedding? Yeah, I really love the old school, really big weddings.
Yeah.
Big ballroom, glamorous something. 150 guests. Because it's for me, it's kind of more challenging. So I like a challenge. Yeah, I like the big family ones, big celebrations. Go all out for sure.
Yeah, there's so much fun with
Yeah.
it. What has been some of your moments of weddings that you sort of like maybe questioned whether or not maybe this is still not like, we've all had those moments where, it might not be the right client, but that sort of made you realize that now you can change your processes as well just to make sure you're working with the right clients. That
Yeah,
was
I
very
think every
long-winded. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think I understood. Every wedding for me, almost every wedding is a bit of a learning process. So I
Yeah.
kind of take away something that I would either refine my processes and just sort of ask more questions beforehand. Sometimes I get one time that I remember in particular, I had a bit of a clash in between sort of the instructions of the bride and the maid of honor or the bride's mum or something. Basically, the bride said no ABBA. The mum was paying for the wedding and she said she loved ABBA. So I kind of had to think, okay, I need to make sure work out the hierarchy of requests and who's in charge here. Yeah.
Oh, I love the good family drama that
Mm.
happens at weddings. So absolutely. When, obviously a lot of people don't realize is that, just when you first start out, like there's obviously a lot of learning, but there's obviously new things that, I call it personal development that we all do as wedding vendors. Like, what are some of the things that, brides when they sort of like look at the costing, but they don't understand like what's gone on behind the scenes to be able to bring this all to life?
Yeah, it's definitely, there's so many costs that we have to incur as well. For me, one of my pillars of my business is that I'm a backup nerd. So that means I've literally bought two of everything of equipment wise so that there's no hiccups or, catastrophes on the day. This is if I'm doing a country farm wedding in the middle of nowhere, there's no DJ store down the road I can quickly rush off to if my controller breaks or something. And that would be spell disaster, obviously. So we've got administration costs, we've got marketing costs as well, the money we spend in order for them to find us, whether it be through all the aggregator sites or, just on Facebook and Meta ads, etc., Instagram. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. I think a lot of wedding vendors don't understand. I was talking to a lot of celebrants and they're like going, well, we're the ones that actually make the wedding legal. So why would you want to scrimp and save on something that, actually makes you legal? And I guess that's the same with what you do because you bring the fun. Otherwise, it's just literally people talking. I mean, you bring the vibe and the atmosphere
Hey,
to the wedding.
Constance. Hey, G. Hey, Dad. Sorry, G. Hey, Mister. Hey. Hey, do you want to go to Mama? Can you go to Mama? Thank you. Can you go upstairs, please, to Mama? Thank you.
I love it. Oh, so cute. It's just that mine's always the dogs that want to come in. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I love it. I love it so much. Well, actually, that would be a really good question I want to ask you is like, how do you fit? Like, obviously, you work a lot on the weekends. Like, how do you balance then, personal life, like with having a business as well?
Yeah, you still have to treat it like a real job. I set myself office hours where I have to do all my admin, business side of things, and then still give yourself a lunch break, still give yourself time with the family as well. But yeah, definitely, it's not just you're working for yourself doesn't mean like you get a free pass to do nothing. You still have to give yourself the dedicated time
Yeah.
to make sure everything gets done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's always different hours too. Everyone thinks that you just work a 9 to 5, but you really don't do a 9 to 5 with it. Would you still see yourself in 5 years still being part of the wedding industry?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think I've got a good 5 years in me at least. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully so. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Alex, like I said, I think what you do is absolutely amazing. We are here at the team a big fan of what you do. You're in our little black book, which is our preferred vendor. So I am so excited. Before you go, is there any piece of advice that you would give out to couples that are planning their special day?
Yeah, I guess something I kind of touched on earlier is yeah, just m make time for people who are willing to make time for you. You can just glean so much info from a phone call or a Zoom meeting, and see if someone's the right fit for you. Um, Obviously, pricing is important, and budget is important. Um, but yeah, I would say yeah, kind of go with kind of ballpark ranges rather than a hard limit of budget. You can kind of save elsewhere, etc. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, before you go, we ask our guests just questions just to sort of get to know you just a little bit. And I was just wanting to know, like, do you have like a favorite motivational quote that you use as sort of like your mantra to pick you up, ready to go, for a wedding?
Yes, this is kind of a personal thing for me. Is yeah, if something feels difficult or something feels hard, just remember it's a learning experience. So yeah, if something's challenging, then you're learning. So yeah, I'm always trying to
I
learn. Yeah.
love I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, is there a favorite book or movie that you like to read to sort of like help motivate yourself?
I actually read a lot of like nerdy sales and marketing books at the moment. So yeah, but Seth Godin, This Is Marketing was a good one for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really
Yeah.
good book. Yes, yes. Think and Grow Rich is my favorite book. I've got like 3 copies of it. I'll have like one in the car, and yeah, so if I'm stopping anywhere. Is there like an inspirational person like within the wedding industry that you think that we should all be following?
Yeah, I just like to follow all my peers and see what they're doing. So other wedding DJs, Joe Bars is a really good one. He loves what he does. Obviously Nathan as well, Nathan Cassar, definitely an aspirational figure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nathan is amazing. And who else should we have on the podcast?
Who else should you have on the podcast? That's a good question. I know my other vendors. I know I'm not sure you've interviewed him yet, but Married by the Beard, Brendan Fing.
Yep,
So he is a celebrant DJ MC all in one. He's kind of different personality to me, different style. He's very ochre. He's very super casual. I like to speak a bit more politely and formally in my tone, whereas he's very like a larrikin, kind of complete other end of the spectrum. But he's doing great work.
yep.
Yeah, and obviously it's resonating well with a lot of couples. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, we'll reach out to him. So thank you, Alex, so much for being on the show today. We're going to pop all the details of how you can reach out to Alex. And if you're planning your special day, reach out to him. He's an incredible DJ and also MC, and really will make your day go just as planned. So, Alex, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And for all of those watching, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And just remember that your special day can go just as planned. Happy planning, everyone.